Good morning. Good morning, my beautiful friends. This is your wake up call with Maui Paul. I am Maui Paul. We are here today to say some nice things about ourselves. I want to say thank you guys so much for being here. Good morning, Lauren, coming in from Florida. Good morning, Shauna, coming up from the Big Canoe area. Good morning, Lane. You're up in LJ, I believe. Anyways, wonderful to have everybody here. Happy Friday, y'all. We have made it through yet another week and are looking forward to the weekend here, which is just around the corner. Anyways, just want to say thanks so much for being here. We are here today to do the same thing we do every morning, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. I'm going to pull a card off the deck. I'm going to ask you if you are the affirmation on the card, and we are going to respond out loud together. I am that affirmation. We're here to say some nice things about ourselves. We're here to affirm what is good and true. The world's going to throw all kinds of messages at us today, and some of them are going to be empowering, and some of them are going to be disempowering. We're going to run into a lot of people today, and some of these people are going to build us up, and some are not. And so let's just bolster ourselves. Let's make sure that we are properly armed for the battle that we are going to do every single day, and make sure that we are saying good stuff about us, because the fact of the matter is that the good stuff about us that we say is true. And so yeah, so let's have some fun. It being Friday, we're gonna pull a card, and then we're also gonna go over the cards for the week and see how we got here this week. So let's have some fun. Let's pull a card and say that today I am enough. I am enough. I cultivate inner peace and fulfillment. So I am enough. I cultivate inner peace and fulfillment. Are you enough? You are enough. You cultivate inner peace and fulfillment. I'm going to write that down in the chat, and I encourage you guys to do the same thing. That I am enough. I cultivate inner peace and fulfillment. Indeed, we are enough. And this world has all manner of ways of trying to convince us that we're not enough. In fact, when I first got into sales and marketing in particular, I learned that one of the primary goals of marketing is to make somebody feel as if they are incomplete without your product. That their life would be better and could be better if only they bought your thing, and to create that desire in somebody to to have more, or to own more, to possess more, in order to make themselves feel good. And there's lots and lots of tricks that marketers use to do this sort of stuff. And as I began reading books about it and studying it and learning about it, I came to realize that these messages are all over the place. They're everywhere. Every single time, people are telling us what to do, how to feel, how to think, how to behave. And what I realized and I recognized in that moment is that there's not a whole lot of messages that tell us that we are enough. There's a lot of messages that tell us that we're not enough. And men and women get them differently, and so do children. I was watching basically children's TV the other day, and I was out and about, and there was the TV on, and it was playing cartoons, and I was watching the cartoons, and I was watching the commercials that came between the cartoons, and it was just so fascinating about how the marketers were just playing on the kids' emotions to get them to buy some toy or to see some movie, or to get invested in some Marvel franchise, or some toy franchise, so that they could buy the toy, and then of course all the accessories, which, believe it or not, are all sold separately. And I was watching that, and the manipulation is just so naked when it's directed toward children, because, well, children aren't all that articulate, and so it's just so it was so obvious. Of course, children or adults don't typically watch advertising from children's programs. Adults, by and large, attempt to get as far away from children's programming as possible and let the kids watch it themselves. It was just very interesting, though, to get that insight into the way that children are being marketed to. Of course, me being out and about, the next thing that I saw, I was down over at the checkout stand, and I looked, oh, here's a magazine that targets women. Well, what's it targeting women about? Well, of course they're not pretty enough, but don't worry, there's a supplement for that. And if there's not a supplement for that, there's Botox for that. And if there's not Botox for that, there's a surgery for that to somehow make you feel good about yourself, to make you look better because you obviously don't look good enough already. But don't worry, here's also 15 recipes for chocolate cake inside the same exact magazine. And so, oh yeah, here's just some food porn, but also you're fat and don't look good. And it was just amazing to me. And of course, the folks who are buying this magazine are buying it with their pay. This magazine that is full of messages about how inadequate they are. Then I looked and saw a men's magazine.
You remember when we were driving and we saw that billboard with that was advertising Botox or something? Was the person was talking about how women have wrinkles and you want to get rid of your smile lines or something?
Get rid of your frown lines. There's a billboard here in Dawsonville that I don't know if it's still up, but the billboard just said "got frown lines?" question mark, and they were advertising Botox. And I thought to myself, I was like, Botox isn't going to solve your frown lines. The people that I hang out with mostly have smile lines because we smile a lot.
And God forbid you have smile lines either.
Right, and God forbid you have smile lines either. And yet the smile lines and the lines on our face tell a story of how we've lived our lives.
Every single wrinkle, pop, scar, everything tells a story of how life was lived.
Yep.
And yet companies are constantly pushing to erase those and make everyone uniform so that you feel enough and you feel pretty enough. When in reality, we already are enough just by being born and being human.
There you go. Preach it, Pepper. That's Pepper preaching it from the back, um, and with her foot. I mean, so anyway, so that was just the women's magazine. So then I looked next to it, and here was a men's magazine. And what was the men's magazine it was advertising? Well, it was advertising the Italian cars that cost $500,000. And which of these Italian cars that cost $500,000 each is the one that would be best for you? Well, I don't know about you, but I'm not in the market for a $500,000 car. And it was just naked manipulation to make you feel inadequate. But of course, the article might be about the $500,000 car, but and the advertisements are not about that. The advertisements are how you can buy a $300 watch that gives you the feeling as if you are buying that $500,000 car. You can buy a $300 watch that has the same name brand as the $500,000 car. So if you can't afford the $500,000 car, and let me tell you, most people cannot afford a $500,000 car, at least you can buy this $300 watch that'll give you that same that will remove those feelings of inadequacy. It was just astounding to me. So women are taught that they don't look good enough. Men are taught that they don't earn enough and and don't have enough money. Children are taught that that if they can only if they can only get emotionally invested in Barbies or Hot Wheels, that their life will somehow be good enough.
And they'll be cool enough and they'll fit in with their peers.
There you go. They'll be cool enough and they'll fit in with their peers if only they have the correct Barbie and Hot Wheel. And of course, all of this stuff is complete lies that is designed to get us to buy stuff that and trade our lives for this stuff. And the reality is that we are already enough. And the proof that we are already enough is that we are here right now, still alive. That every single problem that we've ever had in all of our lives, that we have overcome it. And every single one of us has overcome big problems in our lives. All of us have. And some of us have overcome bigger problems than others. The fact of the matter is, though, as we were overcoming the problems that each and every one of us have overcome, they were the biggest problems in our lives. They were the big stuff. They were the stuff that made us grow. I remember a really cool parenting quote that I remember from a parenting magazine a long time ago, from way before I even had a child, and it stuck with me. And it said, pay attention to the small stuff. When your kid brings something to you, pay attention to the small things, because you'll realize later on that those were the big things. And I think that's so true, because while it's small to us, it's big to them. And so the fact is that each and every one of us, as we go through new problems, that is the biggest problem we've ever gone through. And we take with us the presence of mind. We take with us the idea that we can overcome, based on what we've done in the past. So the fact of the matter is that you are enough, and that I am enough too. And so we have to cultivate that inner peace. We cultivate that fulfillment. We must cultivate it, because it's not just going to happen automatically. It happens when we cultivate it. It happens when we intentionally grow it and water it and pay attention to it. Inner peace doesn't just happen. Inner peace isn't the result of buying a watch that says Ferrari on it. It's not the result of eating 5 different cheesecake recipes and still losing weight. It's not the result of gaining or attaining some ideal weight or some ideal look to your face.
Can I get those 5 different cheesecake recipes that'll make me lose weight, folks? That sounds awesome.
Yeah, well, Vogue magazine will probably have that for you. Believe it or not, they won't make you lose weight. They're cheesecake, yo. But the fact of the matter is that when we realize that we're already enough, all this other stuff falls away. When we recognize that we're already enough, that all of that marketing doesn't have the same effect on us. The I the last time that I saw somebody with a very nice watch, I didn't envy their very nice watch. The last time that I saw somebody that was at a different weight than me, I didn't envy their weight. I'm happy with who I am. I'm happy with the things, my body is the shape of what I ask it to do. And if it stops doing what I ask it to do, then I'm like, okay, I need to make a change in order to get to where I desire to be. However, the changes that could come are internal changes. They're not external. They don't come from externalities, they come from internalities.
You can change everything you want externally, but if you don't work on yourself, you're still going to be the same person in the end.
That's right, exactly. In fact, I remember maybe 10 years ago, there was this inspirational post that I saw of this person who had basically worked out, every day. So they weighed like 450 pounds, and they decided they no longer wanted to weigh like 450 pounds. And they had this giant, huge frown on their face. And so basically it was just progress pictures of them working out, and where every single day just grit and determination, going to the gym and choosing to eat differently. And they went from 450 pounds to about 160 pounds, which, dropping 300 pounds is dropping 2 me's off of your body, which is quite impressive. But one thing I noticed, though, is I noticed that no matter what happened, their frown never went away. Their frown was exactly the same. Their skin was drooping off their body, and their frown was still the same. And I thought to myself, I was like, here's this person being held up as this like inspirational case because they used pure grit and determination in order to make a change in their physical body, and yet they hadn't done anything with their brain because their mind was still thinking the same thoughts. They still didn't like themselves, and it was evident all over their face. And of course, I just sort of followed this person because social media was a thing then, and I just sort of followed them. And lo and behold, maybe 6 months later, after they had attained their ideal weight, they were right back to where they were beforehand. And because they hadn't actually, they never really did believe that they were enough where they were. They never gave themselves credit. This is something that we need to do. This is something that's very important for us to do, is to give ourselves credit when we accomplish the things that are important to us, because that's how we cultivate that inner peace. We recognize that where we are today is in a better place than where we were yesterday because we made decisions yesterday to set ourselves up for success today. And that enoughness happens in this now moment. It doesn't happen when we get to be our ideal weight. It doesn't happen when we get to have our ideal bank account balance. It doesn't happen when we get to have all the toys that we desire. It happens when we choose that we are enough, when we decide it, when we say to the universe, hey, you know what? Like, here I am right now, and I am currently enough. And so by cultivating that, we will have that inner peace and fulfillment. So I am enough, and you are enough too. And so let's go into this weekend knowing that we are enough. Let's go into our day knowing that we are enough. That no matter what's happened in our lives, we have been able to overcome it, and that we are well and truly set up for what's going to happen next. All right. So
Would you say that we are inherently valuable and worthy?
I wouldn't even say that we are inherently valuable and worthy. So let's go over the cards for the week and see where they have taken us. So we started off the week by affirming, because it was Memorial Day, that we are free, and we release attachment and embrace possibility. And of course, Memorial Day has lots of different themes of freedom and sacrifice and associated with it. And so that's why I chose the "You Are Free" card for Memorial Day. So indeed, we affirm that we are free, and that our freedom was bought at a price, and that the best way that we can honor those who have sacrificed so that we may be more free is yes, by remembering them, and also by living our lives with that freedom that we possess. Of course, what better way to live our lives than to affirm that we are creative, that we design our lives with beauty and intention. When we are free, then we can have anything that we desire. And then when we can have anything we desire, we also have a tremendous responsibility to then pick and choose between the things that we desire. It's not it's not easy to be it's not easy to be free. It's actually a responsibility to be free, and so we use that responsibility to engage our creativity. Of course, when we engage our creativity, then we get to be authentic about it with our lives. We get to express our wholeness, and when we express our wholeness, we do so with compassion and with candor. We express our wholeness in a way that is honoring to the people around us and that is inspiring to the people around us, and we do it with the candor of a child. And of course, as we are express our authentic selves, then we are expansive and we grow into new versions of ourselves. When I am fully expressed, the very next thing that my brain does is it develops a new desire. Esther Hicks calls them rockets of desire. She says our roles as human beings are to launch rockets of desire out into the universe, and we are desire creating machines. And so as we it is that those desires that we generate that guide our expansion, and so we grow into new versions of ourselves in order to be able to hold it. And of course, through all of this, we realize that we are enough and that we cultivate that inner peace and fulfillment. And so, of course, all this stuff leads to the Awesome Saturday card, because Awesome Saturday is coming, my friends. Awesome Saturday is almost here. The Sabbath has almost arrived. And so we affirm that we are awesome. And so let's recognize our inherent value and worth. We are inherently valuable just because we are here. We are inherently worthy just because we are here. And the fact of the matter is that for so long as that we can manifest change on this plane of understanding, on this plane of reality, so long as we can love the people around us, so long as we can make intentional choices, then we are inherently valuable and worthy to be here. And so let's just recognize that we are awesome,
And we are enough.
and of course that we are enough.
And Persephone even hooted that.
And
She
and
approves.
Persephone hooed. She approves. Of course she does. Anyways, everything Daddy says is the truth when you're 4 months old. Later on, she'll be a teenager, and, and the universe will balance out. But for now, everything Daddy says is the God's honest truth.
I mean, I think your message is the truth.
Yep. So, anyways, so I want to say thank you guys so much for being here. I do appreciate everybody showing up. So, good morning again to Lane and to Shauna, to Lauren. Wonderful to see you guys here today. Good morning, Kelly. Good to see you as well, and Dan. Nice to see you too. Thank you guys so much for being here. You guys are enough, and we're gonna live with that in our hearts today. I'll talk to everybody tomorrow at 11 a.m. The Awesome Saturday service is coming around like clockwork, as it always does, and looking forward to a new message coming out tomorrow. And then on Monday at 9 a.m., we will be back with another one of these. Until then, I love you. I care about you. I appreciate you. I think that you are awesome, amazing, and of course, enough. And I will talk to everybody tomorrow at 11 a.m. Until then, aloha from paradise.